From the deepest recesses of antiquity, an echo reverberates across time, carrying with it a primal question that has lingered through millennia. What truly transpired in the shadow of Eden, where two brothers stood before their Creator, their offerings laid bare? This foundational narrative, often recounted with a simplicity that belies its profound depth, speaks of Cain and Abel, of acceptance and rejection, and of the first tragic stain upon the earth. But beyond the outcome of fraternal envy and murder lies a mystery far greater: the untold truth behind their sacrifices. Was the divine preference merely for the asterisk type of offering, or did the Creator's gaze penetrate the outward gesture to perceive a deeper reality within their very souls, a truth that holds the key to understanding the essence of worship itself? Our journey begins in a world still raw from humanity's fall, a landscape where the breath of God had once walked, now touched by the immediate consequences of disobedience. Here, amidst the untamed beauty of a nascent earth, where the first settlements began to etch their marks upon the land, the inaugural drama of humanity's spiritual struggle unfolds. The sacred landscape was not of grand temples or intricate altars, but of the very ground from which life sprang, a place where man first learned to toil and to offer back to his Maker. It was a time of nascent faith, of humanity grappling with its new reality. And the story of Cain and Abel emerges not merely as a tale of two brothers, but as a pivotal moment defining the nascent relationship between humanity and the divine. Their offerings, the fruit of the ground and the firstborn of the flock, were more than mere symbols of their livelihoods. They were reflections of their very beings, their understanding of devotion. The conflict was not a simple rivalry between agriculture and pastoralism, but a stark revelation of the hearts that presented them. Abel, with genuine faith and humility, offered the best of what was given to him, a testament to his inward devotion. Cain, conversely, approached the sacred act burdened by pride, perhaps resentment, and a superficial adherence to ritual, his heart lacking the authenticity God desired. This ancient encounter reveals a crucial truth. It was a divine evaluation of the asterisk giver, not solely the asterisk gift, proclaiming that true worship demands not just outward action, but an obedient spirit and profound inward devotion. As we peer into these ancient shadows, the narrative transcends a mere historical enigma, transforming into a timeless mirror reflecting our own human condition. The wonder of this story lies not just in its dramatic events, but in its profound spiritual insights that echo through every generation. We are invited to move beyond the initial mystery of divine preference to the profound discovery of what truly constitutes acceptable worship and the perilous path of unaddressed sin. This sacred account, illuminated by the flickering light of ancient wisdom, serves as a spiritual awakening, challenging us to examine the offerings we bring into our lives, be it our time, our talents, our love, or our faith, and to confront the truth our own hearts reveal. From the earliest dawn of human civilization, the profound narrative of Cain and Abel did not exist in a vacuum, but resonated within a world already grappling with the mysteries of existence and the impulse to connect with the divine. Across the vast, sun-baked plains of Mesopotamia and along the fertile banks of the Nile, humanity instinctively sought to appease unseen powers, to offer up their toil and their harvests in hopes of favor. Yet beneath the grand temples of Sumer and the colossal pyramids of Egypt, where elaborate rituals unfolded with solemn precision, a deeper spiritual truth lay often obscured. The ancient world understood sacrifice as a transaction, a necessary appeasement. But the untold truth of Eden's first offering hinted at a divine scrutiny far beyond mere material exchange, a gaze that pierced the veil of ritual to the very core of the human spirit. In the opulent courts of pharaohs and the ziggurats of Babylon, offerings were monumental, designed to reflect the grandeur of the gods and the power of the rulers. Priests meticulously performed rites, believing that the abundance and perfection of the external gift secured divine blessing, prosperity, and protection. Yet, even amidst such magnificent displays, the spiritual undercurrent of ancient wisdom whispered of something more profound. Fragments of cuneiform tablets and hieroglyphic texts occasionally allude to the purity of intention, the upright heart, as a prerequisite for truly effective worship. These glimpses reveal a universal, albeit often forgotten, recognition that the mere act of giving, devoid of genuine reverence or a moral foundation, was an empty gesture, a truth tragically illuminated in the rejection of Cain's offering. As the tapestry of history unfurled, the spiritual lineage of Abraham emerged, offering a radical departure from the prevailing pagan worldviews. His journey, marked by an unwavering faith and an intimate covenant with the unseen God, began to redefine the essence of offering. It was no longer solely about propitiation or appeasement, but about relationship, obedience, and trust. The sacrifice of Isaac, averted by divine intervention, became a powerful symbol, not of human blood spilled, but of an absolute surrender of the heart, a willingness to give the most precious possession in faithful devotion. This pivotal moment, etched into the desert sands, deepened the understanding that divine acceptance flowed from an inner posture of faith, setting a new trajectory for humanity's spiritual evolution and echoing the primordial lesson of Abel's pure-hearted devotion. Centuries later, amidst the stark beauty of the Sinai wilderness, the Mosaic Law codified an intricate system of offerings and rituals for the nascent nation of Israel. From burnt offerings to sin offerings, each act was meticulously prescribed, not as an end in itself, but as a pedagogical tool, a shadow pointing to deeper spiritual realities. The shedding of blood, central to atonement, symbolized the gravity of sin and the necessity of life given in exchange, a profound prefigurement. Yet even within this divine framework, the danger of superficiality loomed. The law, while perfect in its design, could be reduced to mere outward performance if the heart of the worshiper remained distant or impure. The ritual was meant to facilitate a path to holiness, but the true journey always began and ended within the contrite and obedient spirit. Herein lies a profound revelation, echoing through the centuries from the lips of Israel's great prophets. Time and again, figures like Samuel, Isaiah, and Hosea rose to challenge the burgeoning ritualism and spiritual complacency of their people. Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? Samuel famously declared, exposing the hollowness of outward observance without inward transformation. Isaiah lamented, your new moon feasts and your appointed festivals I hate with all my being. These prophetic voices, like spiritual seismographs, detected the tremors of hypocrisy beneath the surface of elaborate temple rites, consistently reminding Israel that justice, mercy, and humility were the true sacrifices God desired. A poignant echo of the divine gaze that discerned the heart of Cain and Abel. The consequences of neglecting this inner truth were devastating, leading Israel through cycles of apostasy and ultimately to the Babylonian exile. Surrounded by the towering temples of Marduk and the myriad idols of a polytheistic empire, the exiled Hebrews were forced to confront the stark contrast between their ancestral faith and the pagan world. The Babylonians, like the Egyptians before them, believed in manipulating divine favor through grand offerings and magical incantations. But for Israel, stripped of their temple and their land, the essence of worship was distilled to its purest form, a personal, heartfelt relationship with the one true God, nurtured in prayer and faithfulness, even in captivity. This period forged a deeper understanding of spiritual devotion, demonstrating that true worship transcended physical altars and elaborate ceremonies. Later, as Hellenistic culture swept across the ancient world, bringing with it a vibrant tapestry of philosophies and diverse religious practices, the spiritual insights of Israel faced new challenges. Greek thought, with its emphasis on reason and aesthetics, often viewed the Hebrew concept of a transcendent, personal God and the necessity of a pure heart in worship as primitive or exclusive. The Roman Empire, a melting pot of deities and cults, readily assimilated new gods, valuing civic piety and outward observance. Yet, amidst this spiritual pluralism, the core truth of Cain and Abel's offerings endured within the Jewish tradition, preserved in ancient texts and whispered through generations, a testament to the enduring understanding that divine favor was not earned through grand gestures or elaborate rites, but through the authenticity of a devoted spirit. Thus, the journey through these ancient civilizations and their spiritual quests reveals a continuous thread, a universal echo of the lesson first unveiled in Eden's shadow. From the elaborate pantheons of Egypt and Babylon, through the covenantal refinements of Israel, and into the diverse spiritual landscapes of the Hellenistic and Roman worlds, the divine scrutiny of the heart remained constant. The offerings changed, the rituals evolved, but the fundamental truth endured. God's gaze penetrates beyond the visible, beyond the tangible gift, to perceive the purity of intention, the humility of spirit, and the depth of devotion within the giver. Every altar, every prayer, every act of sacrifice across millennia ultimately points back to that primal scene, inviting us to reflect on the true nature of what we bring before the sacred. From the deepest recesses of ancient memory, the true heart of the Cain and Abel narrative unveils itself, revealing a spiritual bedrock for all humanity. The untold truth was never about the superiority of a lamb over fruit, nor a divine preference for one livelihood over another. Instead, the Creator's gaze penetrated the outward forms to discern the very essence of the givers themselves. It was an evaluation of the asterisk heart, a profound judgment on the spirit of devotion. This divine scrutiny, piercing through the veil of ritual, sought authenticity, humility, and a surrendered will, fundamentally redefining what it means to truly offer oneself to the sacred. This primal scene sets the eternal standard. The most magnificent offering, if devoid of a pure heart, is but an empty gesture, while the simplest gift, given with genuine love and reverence, ascends to the heavens. Abel's offering, we now understand, was not merely the firstborn of his flock, but the firstborn of his heart's devotion. He brought not just a portion, but the asterisk best, the fat portions, symbolizing a complete, unreserved surrender to the divine. His act was imbued with faith, a humble recognition of God's sovereignty, and a profound gratitude for life itself. Picture the desert dawn, a simple altar of rough-hewn stones, and Abel kneeling, his gaze fixed not on the rising sun but inward, upon his spirit. His sacrifice was a silent, eloquent prayer, a testament to an inner purity and an authentic relationship with his Maker. It was an act born of trust, an offering of self as much as of substance, resonating with a truth that transcended the physical realm. Conversely, Cain's offering, though perhaps physically impressive, lacked this vital inner dimension. He brought some of the fruits of the soil, a phrase that, in its subtle phrasing, hints at a less than complete devotion. Was it merely a perfunctory act, a duty grudgingly performed, devoid of the first fruits, or the best that Abel so readily gave? The ancient texts suggest a heart burdened by pride, resentment, or a transactional mindset, seeking divine favor through obligation rather than authentic love. His gaze, perhaps, was fixed on the expected outcome, on the approval, rather than on the giver. This pivotal distinction reveals that the divine rejection was not arbitrary, but a righteous response to an offering that reflected a detached, perhaps even rebellious spirit. Herein lies a profound revelation. Divine acceptance is not based on arbitrary whim, but on a perfect understanding of the human heart. God's preference was not for a specific sacrifice, but for a specific kind of worshiper. The untamed beauty of the nascent earth bore witness to this foundational truth, that true worship cultivates a relationship, not a transaction. It teaches us that God desires not just our gifts, but our very selves, not just our actions, but our intentions. This sacred encounter, etched into the very fabric of human history, illuminates the path to genuine spiritual connection, inviting us to examine the depths of our own hearts, to discern whether our offerings, in all their forms, are truly from a place of unreserved love and humble devotion. The consequences of this rejection further unveil the insidious nature of unaddressed sin. Instead of introspection and repentance, Cain's heart hardened, consumed by a smoldering anger that revealed the true state of his inner being. His countenance fell, a visible manifestation of his spiritual turmoil, a profound disquiet that stemmed not from God's rejection, but from his own inability or unwillingness to confront his pride and resentment. This ancient narrative serves as a chilling premonition. When our offerings are rejected, not because God is unjust, but because our hearts are impure, the path of unaddressed sin beckons, threatening to consume us from within. It is a stark warning that the seeds of bitterness, if left untended, can blossom into tragic despair. Yet even in the shadow of this profound rejection, the divine compassion shines through, offering a path to redemption. God, in his infinite wisdom and mercy, directly addressed Cain, questioning his anger and offering a way out. If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. This timeless warning, whispered across millennia, unveils another sacred truth. Humanity is not doomed by its imperfections, but empowered to choose righteousness. It is a divine invitation to master the impulses of the lower self, to confront the darkness within, and to turn towards the light of acceptance through genuine repentance and a transformation of the heart. Tragically, Cain chose a different path, allowing the sin crouching at his door to overcome him. The first murder, the spilling of Abel's innocent blood, was not a sudden, inexplicable act, but the devastating culmination of unaddressed pride, jealousy, and a refusal to heed divine counsel. It was the ultimate consequence of a heart that refused genuine surrender, that prioritized its own wounded ego over the sacred bond of brotherhood and the call of its Creator. This primal tragedy, unfolding in the desolate landscape outside Eden, serves as a stark testament to the destructive power of a spirit alienated from God, a poignant reminder that the choices of our hearts ripple outwards, casting long shadows across the tapestry of human existence. Abel's blood crying out from the ground unveils a profound spiritual truth. Life is sacred, and its unjust termination leaves an indelible mark upon the earth and within the spiritual realm. This poignant imagery symbolizes the profound gravity of sin, particularly the sin of violence against a fellow human being. It speaks to a divine justice that transcends physical sight, a justice that hears the silent screams of the oppressed and demands reckoning. This ancient echo reverberates through every generation, reminding us that every act of injustice, every suffering inflicted, leaves its own imprint, yearning for balance and restoration. It is a chilling reminder of the interconnectedness of all life and the profound spiritual weight of our actions. Thus, the journey into the untold truth of Cain and Abel's offerings culminates in a timeless parable, a mirror reflecting our own human condition across millennia. The divine scrutiny of that ancient altar endures, challenging each of us to examine the offerings we bring into our lives, be it our time, our talents, our love, our faith, or our daily endeavors. Are they presented with genuine humility, with the best of our hearts, or are they tainted by pride, resentment, or a superficial adherence to ritual? This sacred account transcends mere historical enigma, transforming into a spiritual awakening, urging us to confront the truth our own hearts reveal, to understand that authenticity is the currency of divine connection. The mystery of Eden's first altar, finally unveiled, reveals an eternal truth. God desires not merely our sacrifices, but our surrendered selves, our authentic hearts. The ultimate offering is not what we bring to God, but who we are before God. This profound insight, passed down through generations, transcends time and culture, inviting all humanity to cultivate a spirit of genuine devotion, to approach the sacred with humility, and to embrace the transformative power of a pure heart. In this understanding, we find not only moral clarity, but a deep, abiding tranquility, knowing that the divine gaze, though penetrating, is ultimately one of infinite love, yearning for an authentic relationship with each and every one of us. The ancient narrative of Cain and Abel, often viewed through the lens of a singular tragedy, in fact illuminates a truth far grander and more enduring. It is the foundational blueprint for all authentic spiritual engagement. From the flickering lamplight of ancient scribes to the digital glow of our modern screens, this story calls us to move beyond superficial understanding, unveiling a sacred principle. The divine gaze, which once pierced the desert air to discern the hearts of two brothers, continues to penetrate the outward forms of our worship, our service, and our very lives. It teaches us that the Creator's ultimate desire is not for grand gestures or flawless rituals, but for the profound purity of intention that resides within the human soul. This is the enduring legacy of Eden's first altar, a revelation that cleanses and renews. This profound insight acts as a purifying light, scattering the shadows of performative faith and revealing the true essence of devotion. It speaks of an inner alchemy, where the mundane is transformed into the sacred, not by the nature of the gift itself, but by the spirit with which it is offered. Imagine the dawn breaking over a barren landscape, not just illuminating the physical world, but awakening the soul to a deeper understanding of its purpose. This is the promise of renewal, that every moment, every effort, every breath can become an offering, a testament to a heart aligned with divine will. It is a call to continuous purification, shedding layers of pride and expectation until only the genuine essence remains, radiant and unburdened. In our contemporary world, where fear often overshadows hope and the clamor of external validation drowns out the quiet whispers of the soul, the lesson of Cain and Abel resonates with urgent clarity. We are constantly challenged to bring our offerings to the altar of modern life, our time, our talents, our attention, our very identities. Do we present them with the humble authenticity of Abel, seeking genuine connection and purpose, or with the superficiality and veiled resentment that marked Cain? The pervasive fear of not being enough, of being overlooked, can tempt us into acts of performative living, where the outward display matters more than the inward truth. Yet the ancient wisdom promises hope, that authenticity, however vulnerable, is the true pathway to divine acceptance and inner peace. Furthermore, the cautionary tale of Cain's unaddressed sin echoes powerfully through the corridors of our own anxieties and struggles. How often do we allow resentment, jealousy, or anger to crouch at our door, subtly poisoning our interactions and distorting our perception? The fear of confronting our own imperfections, our own shadows, can lead us down a path of self-deception, where outward success masks an inner turmoil. Cain's tragic descent was not an isolated event, but a timeless parable illustrating the destructive power of a heart that refuses honest introspection and true repentance. It serves as a stark reminder that the seeds of bitterness, if left untended, will inevitably bear bitter fruit, consuming not only ourselves but those around us. Yet, amidst this solemn warning, a beacon of hope shines brightly, illuminating the path to redemption. The divine compassion extended to Cain, the invitation to do what is right and rule over sin, is a timeless testament to grace and the enduring possibility of transformation. It whispers across millennia, assuring us that we are not irrevocably bound by our past choices or our inherent flaws. This ancient dialogue offers a profound spiritual insight, that even in our darkest moments, the divine hand is extended, guiding us towards purification and renewal. It is an invitation to master our lower impulses, to choose integrity over resentment, and to embrace the transformative power of a contrite and willing heart, a path to true spiritual freedom. Thus, the altar of the heart becomes the sacred space where our daily lives unfold, where every intention, every word, every act is an offering. This ancient lesson compels us to cultivate a mindful awareness, to infuse even the most mundane tasks with purpose and reverence. It's in the quiet moments of reflection, in the selfless act of kindness, in the honest confession of our shortcomings, that we truly purify our spirits and renew our connection to the divine. This is not about grand ceremonies, but about the consistent, conscious choice to live with authenticity, humility, and love. It is a continuous process of self-examination, ensuring that what we bring forth from our inner being is truly our best, offered with genuine devotion. The profound message of Cain and Abel, therefore, transcends individual spiritual journeys, extending its light to illuminate the very fabric of human society. Imagine a world where every interaction, every decision, every shared endeavor is approached with the authenticity and pure intention that God sought in Eden. This ancient wisdom becomes a guiding principle for building communities founded on genuine connection, empathy, and mutual respect, rather than superficiality or hidden agendas. It calls us to collective purification, to shed the layers of societal prejudice and fear, fostering a renewal of human spirit that resonates with the divine desire for harmony and justice, creating a tapestry of shared hope. Ultimately, the unveiled mystery of Eden's first altar leaves us not with questions, but with a profound, liberating clarity and a deep sense of peace. It confirms that the divine quest is for relationship, for connection, not for conquest or appeasement. The most magnificent offering we can ever present is not a physical sacrifice, but the surrendered self, a heart made pure through intentionality, humility, and unwavering love. In this timeless truth, we find enlightenment, a serene understanding that transcends dogma and ritual, revealing the Creator's infinite love, yearning for an authentic, unreserved connection with each and every one of us, inviting us into a perpetual state of grace and profound tranquility. The journey through these ancient echoes culminates not in a distant historical fact, but in a living truth that pulses within each of us today. The divine scrutiny first revealed in Eden's shadow is not a judgment to fear, but an invitation to profound authenticity. It whispers that every act, every word, every silent thought we offer to the world, and to the sacred within it, carries the weight of our true intention. Whether we are tending to our daily tasks, engaging in relationships, or seeking moments of quiet contemplation, the spirit with which we approach these offerings determines their resonance. This timeless wisdom transcends the boundaries of creed or culture, reminding us that genuine devotion is woven into the very fabric of our being, a continuous, conscious act of bringing our purest selves to the altar of life itself. It is a call to live with an open heart, acknowledging that the divine gaze perceives not the scale of our deeds, but the sincerity of our soul. This revelation, once shrouded in the mists of antiquity, now shines as a guiding light, purifying our understanding of purpose and peace. It frees us from the burden of striving for external validation, liberating us to embrace the profound simplicity of heartfelt sincerity. No longer do we need to construct elaborate altars or perform grand gestures to earn divine favor. Rather, we are called to cultivate an inner sanctuary, a space where our intentions are clear and our spirit is unburdened by ego or resentment. Imagine the quiet strength that blossoms when every endeavor, from the simplest act of kindness to the most complex creative pursuit, becomes an offering imbued with genuine love and conscious presence. This is the alchemy of true worship, transforming the ordinary into the sacred and forging an unbreakable bond between the human spirit and the eternal, echoing across the vast expanse of time. As the echoes of this ancient narrative fade, we are left not with questions, but with a profound, liberating clarity and a deep sense of peace. The untold truth of Eden's first offering confirms that the divine quest is for relationship, for an authentic, unreserved connection, not for conquest or appeasement. It reveals a Creator whose infinite love yearns for the purity of our intentions, inviting us to shed the masks of performance and embrace the vulnerability of a surrendered heart. In this serene understanding, we find not only a moral compass, but a deep, abiding tranquility, knowing that the most magnificent offering we can ever present is simply who we are, offered with humility and unwavering love. May this timeless wisdom resonate within us, inspiring gratitude for the sacredness of life and guiding us towards a perpetual state of grace, where every breath is a prayer and every moment an offering of peace.